It is that time of year, geeks. Let me tell you, the shad have grouped up in open water, and every angler you see is out there glued to a screen using forward-facing sonar to shake a minnow at them. Well, don't just go find another minnow to shake at them. Do something really different. Now, this presentation doesn't just work with forward-facing sonar. You can go down the bank working it, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later in the video. But this is so super subtle. This bait moves and has action without you even moving it. It breathes in the cold water, and that subtle difference is everything when it comes to this time of year. So what are we talking about? We're talking about this awesome little bait right here. This is from Big Daddy's Baits, and this is called the Spotlight Shad. This is a specially designed bait. It's got some marabou hair in it, so it actually in the water keeps this shad type profile. So as that thins out, it looks like a tail, and it's got a nice fat body right here. Something else I love about it is it's got the eyes built in, and this is a tungsten head. So you can use this two different ways. There's an old school technique that I use a lot and used to use a lot more than I use now called tight lining. I kind of call it the poor man or the cheap way to go float and fly fishing. And this thing is great for it. The other way, of course, is getting out and spotlighting these bass out here that are feeding on shad, just like this. Now, some things that really make this great is the tail. Sometimes I will cut that tail down just a little bit to make it a little bit smaller, because that's a pretty long old tail right there. Secondly, like I said, it's got the marabou hair in the middle and a little bit of flash of blue to give that little bit of blue and a little bit of chartreuse in there. But that marabou hair really keeps it and gives this bait, you know what we love, a little bit of girth, so it keeps that shad profile and doesn't completely just thin out. Good hooks in them. I believe this is a 2/0, and like I said, this is just an amazing little bait to change up when everybody else is throwing a good old minnow. So this color is shad. They come in several different colors, and I think a couple different sizes. Pretty much everything I've got is 1/4 ounce. If you got perch, this would be the one for you. Or if you're around some bluegill, again, tight lining, this one is a good color. And this is bumblebee. This has got a little bit of chartreuse in it. Great on a lake like we're on today, where we've got some smallmouth, and this is called Devastator. And last but not least, again, you got a little bit of dirty water and smallmouth, we've got ratchet. So the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here and we are gonna tie a little loop, little granny knot. We're gonna sink that down real small. We're gonna come through. So we're gonna snug that loop up. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this around about 5 times. And then what we'll do is we'll hold that loop and we will come through both of the loops right here. We'll pull that down to where it's tight. And there you have your loop knot. We'll go ahead and cut that. And we are ready to go shake a hair jig. All right, geeks, so the rod, reel, and line setup that we're going to be using today, this is a Douglas Matrix. This is their high-end rod. It is incredibly sensitive, but this rod is a 704, so it is a 7-foot medium fast action. Great rods. The Matrix series are incredible rods, and they got literally any size you could imagine on there. Something else, if you're a little budget minded, you want to check out is the Apparel rods, and they're $100 retail rod. They've got a great deal on them, incredible rods for $100. And by the way, for anything that is Douglas, I've got a discount code you can use right here. Now on the Fitzgerald, we've got the High Vis Pink braid. I'm telling you, some of the best casting braid on the market, if it ain't the best casting braid on the market, comes from K9 Line. With that, we've got an 8-pound test Pro 100% fluorocarbon right here. And so that's kind of what we like to go with. I know guys that will do this all the way down to 3-pound test. I don't have the Wavos for that, but you can get a discount on whatever line diameter or test weight you like right here with a code from K9. Now, of course, you could take this spotlighter shad and you can go out here right in the middle of the lake, and you can go ahead and start scoping up some bait. And what I love about it, again, it's really subtle. It's something that while everybody's throwing some sort of minnow, this is completely different. And like I said, this time of year, you know, we're in the 1st of January. Where I'm going to be looking is probably going to be the mouths of creeks, and it's going to be the main lake. You know, we were out on the main lake earlier today, and we were seeing some really good fish out there, just kind of swimming around. They weren't hardcore chasing shad, but they were out there taking advantage of any shad that were out there. So main lake this time of year, we're in the heart of winter. Those are the locations you want to do that with. The other locations, we're about 1/3 of the way back in a creek right here. We got some wood, we've got a nice 45-degree bank, we got some good rock on it, and that's tight lining territory for us. Some bluffs, main lake bluffs and stuff, or anything like this on the main lake too. So what you do is you take and you make a cast. Now what I like to do is stay out a little bit right now, you know, maybe a 45, and come down this until I figure out what depth they're at, where I'm getting my bites at. But I'm gonna throw this up on the bank, and I'm just gonna let it hit bottom, and then I'm just gonna start shaking and reeling, and I'm gonna let it come back to me. You've heard me talk about this a lot if you've been around the channel. This is one of the most deadly techniques, if you don't have a live scope, that you can do in the wintertime. So now, if you're contouring and you're shaking this and you're reeling and you never touch the bottom, you are reeling too fast. Slow the reel down, slow it down. You want to touch bottom every once in a while. That's how you know you're staying close to the bottom. You know, again, if you've got live scope, you can see it. So, but now if you're kind of always on the bottom, then you're reeling too slow. So you want to find that happy medium to where you're right in the right reel speed or retrieve speed while you're shaking. When it comes to hook set, trust me, when they come and get this, you'll feel it, because when you're shaking, you'll feel just a pull down. Set the hook on that and be ready, get that rod tip down. You know, I had somebody the other day talk about me, or talk to me. They left a comment and they said, every time I drop my rod tip, well, a lot of times if you're dropping your rod tip, you're not keeping a bow. But if you're up here, it's much easier for the bass to jump, shake their head, and give slack in the line. So when you bring your rod tip down, you want to make sure that you're reeling. Okay, you're not going to just drop your rod tip, because you're going to give them slack, of course. You want your rod to do all the work, but the reason why we tell you to always drop your rod tip low is because as the bass comes up, that's when you want to turn the reel handle a couple extra times, and if they do jump, you're going to pull them right back down into the water. You're putting that tension, that load back on the rod where it belongs. Now, once you get them to the boat, single hook, you can reach over and grab them by the thumb. Small one, don't boat hop on finesse gear, or get your net out and put them in the boat for you. Take a few pictures, send them back to where they came from, man. You know how it is. All right. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about a lot of different things you can do in the wintertime with a ball head jig or a jig head minnow without forward facing sonar, man, I've got a great video you can go watch right here. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell and be part of the 100% Watch Squad. Man, 2026 is going to be an incredible year, and you geeks rock.